Good evening, parents and students of the class of 2025. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Cedar Crest High School. We're excited for you to join our Cedar Crest family next school year. This orientation will help you gain a better understanding of the course registration process, increase your familiarity with the Cedar Crest High School courses, and help you plan for your future. We are extremely proud of what our school and faculty offer to our students over their 4 years within this building. We truly are here to serve our students and to help them meet our district's mission, which is to empower students to reach their individual potential. We realize every individual is unique, and so we do everything we can to provide opportunities for students to customize their learning and experience a tremendous amount of course offerings. Before we begin the course registration portion of the program tonight, let's meet some important members of our team. So we'll head on over to the main office and meet some of our assistant principals, and then over to our counseling office and introduce you to some of our counseling staff.
Welcome, class of 2025 and parents. My name is John Schaefer. I'm an assistant principal here at the high school. I want to welcome you, and some of the things that we do here is we talk a lot about Falcon Pride, so when you come up here to the high school, we want you to really show that Falcon Pride.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Snyder. I'm one of the assistant principals here at the high school. We look forward to you joining us, and we just want to say get involved while you're here, be part of a club, be part of an activity. Your time in the high school is going to be what you make of it, and the more things you do, the better experience you're going to have, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Barbara May. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Cedar Crest High School. I want to welcome you to our campus, to the Falcon family. And if there are two pieces of advice I would like to give to you, it's one, please don't be afraid to ask for help, because that's one of the places where our students tend to fall down because they don't know how to do it. The second piece of advice I would like to offer you is make sure you use your computers for academic purposes and not just for entertainment. Thanks, and have a good day.
Hello, Cedar Crest class of 2025. Rick Dissinger, Cedar Crest High School Athletic Director. Looking forward to having you up here at the high school next year. Looking forward to our little Falcons making their way up to the high school. If you have any questions about athletics, fall, winter, spring sports, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be happy to work with you and get you all the information you need. Good luck as you finish your year. Look forward to seeing you next year.
Good evening, I'm Mrs. Knight. You are going to be my student if you are last name letters S to Z, and I will be with you for 4 years. That's what's exciting for me. I get to meet you in 9th grade, and I get to see you all 4 years. I get to know you really well, and I get to customize your learning experience as long as you come and see me. There's so many opportunities at Cedar Crest for everyone, and you know, our motto, our mission statement at Cedar Crest is to really focus on everybody's individual goals. And so get in to see us, get in to see me, and we will customize your learning, but you have to get in to see me. All right, good luck. See you soon.
Hello, 8th grade Falcons. I am Mr. Thompson, and I work with students last name A through E. So if you find yourself falling in that category, you get to work with me next year. I'm so excited to see you come up to the high school and help you plan out that journey to whatever lies beyond and such. So I hope that your orientation goes well. Look forward to seeing your face, either masked or unmasked, in the hallway next year. And let's go Falcons.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Gebhardt. I'm a counselor at Cedar Crest High School. I serve students with the last names starting letters F through K. I'm looking forward to seeing you next year. Some of you might remember me as your 7th grade counselor from last year. So welcome to the high school, and if you have any questions, contact me at any time.
All right, my name is Mr. Carmona. I'm one of the school counselors here at Cedar Crest High School, home of the mighty Falcons. I look forward to serving you and your child for next school year. See you soon.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Sides, and I'm the transition coordinator here at the high school, and I might be part of your support team if you receive services through an IEP.
Hello, if you are an 8th grader that has an IEP, I will be your counselor. I am Mrs. Sorbier, and I will be part of your IEP team.
Can't wait to meet you.
Over the next 30 minutes, you will hear from Mrs. Knight, one of our 5 school counselors. Mrs. Knight brings a tremendous amount of knowledge about course registration and, as is the case with all our school counselors, she loves to work with our students. You will then meet Mr. Swartz, who is the 8th grade school counselor at Cedar Crest Middle School. He will take everyone through the actual process of how to register for high school courses. Following Mr. Swartz's presentation, a high school teacher from each of our departments will provide you a brief 1-minute presentation highlighting their department. I will then come back and join you to wrap up the program. So, it's time to turn the program over to Mrs. Knight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Groff. Now, not only does the district's mission focus on our students' individual potential, but it really is what drives the counseling office. So this mission statement means a lot to us. One of the first, the most basic ways that we help students determine their individual potential and really play on their spark, what's their passion, is that we ask them to choose a career academy every year based on your future goals. The one thing that we remind students is that just because you choose one career academy one year does not mean necessarily that you're going to have the same career academy the next year. It is fluid, and we realize that your interests are going to change based on your experiences in your life. So don't be afraid to kind of dedicate yourself. You have to dedicate yourself to a career academy, but don't be shy about that because that's fluid and that can change. What we really want to do is give you an individualized path, and that's what really the career academies offer. So the different areas that you can choose from, one is business, one is communication and the arts, engineering, physical science, and applied technology. Another is the health, agriculture, and life sciences. And then finally, the human and public services. And really everyone's career that they have an interest in is going to fall within one of those career academies. So first off the bat, they're going to choose a career academy. From there, the Career Academy will really help drive the students' electives. So every year they're going to have 1 or 2, and some up to their senior year, they have up to 4 program electives. And so the Career Academy really drives them to choose electives in their field. And what that does, it builds experience, it builds a foundation in their future career. So that is really why we have the career academies. It's to focus students and really build the resume and build the transcript. Okay. Um, over the years, as you progress through your as you progress through 9th and 10th and 11th grade, you're going to be offered more and more elective credits because we'll expect less from you. We'll have less required classes. So by the time we get to your senior year, you really can choose individualized options. Your senior year can be what you want it to be. What I love about this school is that we offer so many extensions to our curriculum right in the building. We offer the Lebanon County Career and Technology Center for students in both their junior and senior year. We have college and the high school options in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. We have dual enrollment options your senior year. And what the difference between those is college and high school are right here taught within our own teachers, but dual enrollment options really opens you up to go out and find at different colleges, find something for you and bring it back to our school. So you'd be taking it outside of school, but you can get it on your high school transcript. So that really makes the individualized options or it really demonstrates the individual options that you're able to have. You can bring whatever back to our school. And then finally, senior year, for those that want to go into the world of work or get experience, we have an internship, and then we have a co-op position. And the difference between those two is the internship is just 2 periods of the day for half the year, and you can't get paid for that. So that's just going to be a brief internship to give you a glimpse of what would happen during that job. But a co-op's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be worth 3 credits, and you can get paid while you work. There is some classroom work associated with it, but if you currently have a job, you could work there during school hours along with taking your graduation credits. And if you don't have a job, but really are interested in the co-op, we can actually help you find one. So that is another way to really individualize your education in your senior year. We also offer Project Life. So what your students are going to do over the next 4 years is it's a Schoology class, and it's a career project, and it spans 4 years. And so through that, they're going to do some resume building. They're going to be required to do a job shadow and a college visit, and they're going to get a little bit of an exit interview experience, and they're going to have a final draft of the resume when they leave here. So again, that Project Life is going to help along the way plan for their future career. The only other thing that I want to mention is another thing that's going to build your resume and build your transcript is going to be getting involved in your school. This not only builds leadership, but it also offers experience within your field. For instance, you could do FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, if you are interested in going into the business field. So we have all kinds of different clubs and activities that you can get involved in that not only build your leadership, but can build experience in your field. So really, this is your school, and we want you to get involved. Now, when you get your educational planning guide, one of my favorite pages in the whole guide is that back page. The back page is very important, number one, because it lists graduation requirements. So you will be required to track your own graduation requirements and make sure that you are getting everything that you need within the 4 years. And that is not anything that you plan for your junior year. You want to, and look below, if you look below the graduation requirements, we actually provide for you a 4-year spreadsheet there that you could, a grid that you could actually plan not only ninth grade, and I know Mr. Schwartz does this with the middle school students, and many actually during presentations this year, many of the ninth graders they admitted they still had this from Mr. Schwartz. So thank you, Mr. Schwartz, for that. But they can plan 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So if they want to go to CTC their senior year, they have to get all of those credits jammed in to grades 9, 10, and 11. So, that future career and really all of the options that we have to make that an individualized experience, that needs to be planned for from the minute you step foot in the building. So make sure you're using the back of that paper and planning for each year. So, if in summary, what we really want to say from the counseling office is we are at your service, and we want to make these next 4 years fun. We want to know you, so we want you to get in and see us, and we want you to have fun here by exploring your passions and really taking advantage of all of the individualized options that we have here. If you need anything, come on to the counseling office. Now back to you, Mr. Groff.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Knight. So if we go back one slide to the keystones. So eighth graders, you are so used to the PSSAs. And luckily for you, the PSSAs, are not part of our high school experience. However, now we focus more on the keystones. Okay, so in the keystones, we take one algebra for algebra 1, biology and literature. So the trigger courses, and that's what we provide. We call them trigger courses. It's the course that's going to help prepare you for the Keystone exam. We take the algebra and the biology in ninth grade, and then you'll take the literature exam in 10th grade. And from the state and from Cornwall Lutheran School District, it is part of the graduation requirements. So as you can see, as a member of the class of 2025, you will need to satisfy the graduation requirements related to Keystone exams. Now, there are 5 different pathways to fulfill that requirement. I'm only going to focus on the first 2 because they're the most common. The Keystone Proficiency Pathway, which means scoring proficient or advanced on each Keystone exam, again, Algebra 1, Literature, and Biology, or Pathway 2, which is the Keystone Composite Pathway. And that's earning a composite score of 4452 on the Algebra 1, Literature, and Biology Keystone exams, while achieving at least a proficient score on at least one of the 3 exams and no less than a basic score on the remaining 2. Now, I will tell you, if any part of that sounds complicated, this is the purpose of this is not to have you worry about it.
We're going to take good care of you on this. We're going to make sure you're in those trigger courses, their requirements. Our teachers do a fantastic job of preparing you for the keystones. And again, there are 5 different ways to help you through this. We will work with you when you get here to make sure that you fulfill those graduation requirements as it relates to the keystone examination. So no stress there. Just again, wanted you to hear the word keystones, know that part of the some of the requirements is in the high school with your high school experience. So at this time, Mr. Swartz will now take over and he's going to explain the actual course registration process. Mr. Swartz?
Good evening, parents and students. This is Don Swartz, the guidance counselor for the 8th graders at Cedar Crest Middle School. I wanted to talk to you tonight about what we've been doing with your students for course selection and for career education, as well as show you how to go on to Skyward and register for courses with your student. We begin our career lessons with students nowadays in 3rd and 4th grade. The state of Pennsylvania requires that we begin career education in 3rd grade and that we give lessons from the counselors from 3rd all the way through 11th grade. For this particular class, they have had career lessons up through and including with me, and we are putting that information from their exploration and from their experiences onto something we call a career and academic plan, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I have been sending out several emails with different links to you and your students. The other week on Monday, I believe January 11th, I sent an email with a link to my Office 365 account, which has many resources on it, and I'll talk about those in a little bit as well. But over the past 2 weeks, your students have received 2 lessons from me and one of the other counselors, or both, in reference to high school. The first lesson we did was high school and information on high school and GPA and so forth. And the second lesson, which we just did this past week, was filling out the electronic course selection form together. If your student hasn't filled out that form and was not present in school or online when we did those together this past week, they will be receiving an individual email with links to the form, with a link to the educational planning guide, and a link to the recorded lesson so they can listen to it and follow along and complete the electronic form on their own. Okay, so in 8th grade, one of the things that we need to do is we need to come up with an academic and career plan for every 8th grader before they go to 9th grade. So basically, that's a gathering of information that they've already collected. So in 6th grade with Mrs. Brandt, they did things like the Spark Survey and JA BizTown. In 7th grade with Mrs. Gephardt last year, they explored things on PA Career Zone. They did interest inventory, a skills inventory, and a workplace importance profiler. And they have a summary that they submitted to us, or they will be submitting to us, in reference to the suggestions from PA Career Zone on careers or jobs based on their skills and their work importance and their interests. But when I talk with the students about academic and career plan, what I want them to do is think about what they want to do for their life with a career. So most of you think, well, my 8th grader isn't going to know what he wants to do for a job. I don't even know, and I might be 40 years old. So, and that may be true. But we want them to begin planning now, and we want to begin thinking about this now because it's certainly going to help in the future. I like to tell them to think about going out 15 or 16 years whenever they're 30 years old, and think about what kind of lifestyle they want. Do they want to own a house? Do they want to own a car? Do they want to live in a city where they don't have to own a car? Do they want to be with public transportation? Do they want to have a relationship with kids? Do they want to have what kind of lifestyle and what kind of things do they really want to, what way do they really want to be living at that point? And then I asked them to think about how much income that's going to take. So if I know that I have an interest in music or in working with my hands, I can think about what kind of lifestyle I want when I'm 30 years old, and I can come back and look at what kind of income that's going to take. And then I can back up a little bit and say, okay, so what kind of training do I need to be at a level that's going to bring me that kind of income? So do I need to go to college? Do I need to go to tech school or trade school? Or can I get it in the military? And so forth. And then in addition to looking at that, and then we back up and we say, okay, so what experiences do I need to be able to put that in place or to get ready for that kind of education that I need at the end of high school? Also on the academic and career plan is a place for experiences that they've had to contribute to this, like if they volunteer or they have a job, and we look at their skills. So when they start thinking about what they need to do to be ready at the end of high school, then we back up even a little farther and we say, okay, what kind of classes do I need in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade? And then we look at just 9th grade. What is it that's available to me that can help me get ready for the end of high school to be ready to go on to the next step in my life? So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing already. On January 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, we had the Cedar Crest High School departments, several departments come down to the middle school and they did presentations. There were also 2 departments that did videos for presentations, and we have videos of all of those on the resources page in my Office 365 account, which you have a link to, which I sent on January 11th. On January 8th, we also had a CTC presentation in our English classes. I showed them the overview of the video for the Lebanon County Career and Tech Center and the programs that are there. And even though those programs don't begin until 11th and 12th grade, they need to know that those are available because they're really good opportunities to be able to get educated in a career field and maybe even earn college credits before they go on to further education or before they go into that field of work. There were other videos available from the Career and Tech Center on each individual program, and I have all of those downloaded into a CTC video folder in Schoology in the Project Life course, and you'll need to ask your student about that and they can show you. And then from February 1st to February 5th, not January 27th, but February 1st to February 5th, actually from January 27th to February 5th, the online registration is going to be open to parents and guardians and students. So after this today, after you're learning how to go onto Skyward and register with your student, you'll be able to go online, use the PDF that I have sent back to you and them from their form that they filled out for me, and you can go on to Skyward and register for courses if you so choose. If you don't choose to do that, or you're a little trepidatious about it, that's perfectly fine, because the first week of February, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I'm going to be going into classes, and I'm going to be helping the students go on to Skyward and register for courses with me. Now, on February 1st, Monday, Wednesday the 3rd, and Monday the 8th, I will have virtual open office hours in the guidance office. So you'll get a link to be able to join a Teams meeting, and I'll be doing that from 3 to 7. And that will be a chance for me to answer any of your individual questions about your own student or overall questions about the course selection process. The deadline for completion of everyone to have everything in Skyward is February 5th. However, if your student puts their things into Skyward and we need to change them after that because you have questions and you don't get to me till the 8th, or if you have questions after that, that's okay. I'll be reviewing everything that they do. I'll look at every single schedule and everything that they've scheduled to make sure that they'll have the requirements that they need and that there's enough credits and so forth. And if we need to make any changes, then I will be contacting you and or your student. So the schedule change deadline for the high school is July 1st. So no schedule changes can be made after July 1st. So we want you to be thinking about that. The schedule changes that are able to be made you can make those with me all the way up until Memorial Day, and then after Memorial Day, we have to contact the high school office. Right now, all 4 core teachers for your students, English, Math, Social Studies, and Science, are recommending levels for their classes for your student at the high school. At the middle school, we have academic and honors. At the high school, there are 3 levels. There's what I call academic and then college prep and honors. And you can see which way all of these can go. So if you're an academic and you're doing fairly well and you're keeping up okay, then your teacher will probably recommend college prep. If you're an academic and you're blowing it out of the water and you have all A's and your teacher thinks you can do the honors level, they'll certainly recommend that. And if you're having difficulty keeping up or you're not getting the work done or it really doesn't seem to make sense to you, they'll probably recommend the academic level or the English 9A and 9B. If you're in honors and you're doing well and you're keeping up, they'll probably recommend honors. And if you're in honors and you're having a bit of difficulty and you have a C average or worse, then they're probably going to recommend college prep. Science is the same way. For biology, there's biology 9, there's a college prep level, and there's honors. And American cultures is the same way. Now, there's one exception to American cultures. There is the first advanced placement course available, AP US History, or what people call APUSH. Most teachers are not recommending that for students. If students are interested in that, they need to talk with their social studies teacher. They need to talk about whether or not they feel like they're prepared for that. And throughout that conversation, their teacher will indicate whether or not they believe that the student can do it. And then they'll have to see me to register for that. Now, when I sent you the link for my Office 365 account, when you go in there, you should see 3 folders like this that I'm circling with a cursor. You'll be in my 8th grade course selection folder, and within that there are 3 folders. The first one is a course selection presentations and form. If your student did not complete the electronic course selection form with me this past week, then they need to go in there, watch lesson 2, the video is there, lesson 2, and also complete the form, which the link is also there. The high school tours folder it has all the videos from the high school presentations that first week of January. So you can see a complete presentation by the people who were there in person, and you can also see the presentations, video presentations of the ones who were not and only gave you videos. That third folder is important because that is the resources that you will use during this process. And I want to go down through and look at those and talk about what each of those are for you so you understand what they are. The 9th grade electives here, it's a Word document, and basically when you look in the educational planning guide and you see all the classes listed there that are available to take at the high school, not all of them are available to 9th graders. So I've put those all in one place so you can see what all the 9th grade electives are. All you have to do is open that Word document and you'll be able to see that. The course discrepancy form is a form that your student will need to fill out if they disagree with the recommended level of class that their teacher recommends. For instance, if your student is in academic English and they want to take honors next year, and their teacher recommends college prep and believes that that's a level they should be in, they can take honors, but they must have the teacher, their parents, and they must sign the course discrepancy form. And there's a statement on there that says if you choose to take a class at a higher level than what's recommended and you get into academic difficulty, they will not drop the class. You need to stick with it. So that will need to be completed for something if your student disagrees with the recommendation. The course selection timeline is just what the dates that we've been doing things throughout this time for course selection itself. The educational planning guide, I've given newspapers to most students who were in the middle school. For those who are K-8 virtual and C3 students, I sent out an email to have those newspapers picked up in the front of the middle school when you have a chance. And if you're not able to pick those up in order to complete the form, or they didn't have them with the form, then they can use this PDF and you can look through that, because that is the same as the newspaper that we sent home. The next thing is the lunch waiver. I've said this to the kids and I say it to you. I do not recommend lunch waivers for students in 9th grade. A lunch waiver is an opportunity for a student to skip lunch and take an extra class or two during their school day. I don't recommend that at all for 9th graders. I fully believe that people need breaks and need to schedule those breaks in throughout their day. And I've told the kids that if they start being a workaholic at age 14, then by the time you get to my age, you're either going to be very, very tired and exhausted, or maybe dead. But I don't recommend that at all. Kids do it. That's, if you decide your student is okay with that and you're okay with that, fine. But I don't recommend that at all. The next piece of information there is called the Parent Registration Tutorial. That is a PDF with the PDF explanation. That's what I'm going to go over later in these slides, explaining to you how to go onto Skyward and register for classes with your student. The request for schedule change, anytime after February 5th, if they need a change in their schedule, they'll fill that out, one of those out, and they'll hand it in to me in the guidance office, and then I can make that change. And the last but not least, the schedule worksheet. Now, the schedule worksheet is just a visual way to see both semesters, 6 cycle days, 8 periods of the day during the year. It's a good way for us to sit down and really visually see how you fill out your entire day. The way that we write it in there is not the way that it's going to occur period by period, but it gives us a way to fill the day and still have lunch on that 8th period. Okay, now last week, when we went through the course registration contract, we filled this out electronically together. So every student who was with me and with Mrs. Brandt or Mr. Fisher filled this out and handed it in electronically. And you should have, or will have very quickly, a PDF of this document. I save these as PDFs and email them to you and your student, so you should have a copy. So you'll be able to look through this and be able and talk to your student and look at what they're planning on taking before we go into Skyward and register for them. You will also use this in order to go into Skyward and know what the course numbers are, etc., for what you need to register for if you're going to be doing that with your student. So, courses that are available for electives. We have 1.5 credits worth of electives for 9th graders. They get to choose 1.5 credits. There's also a graduation requirement course that's a half credit that they can choose between one of 3. The career academies that were talked about earlier, career academies are nothing more than a grouping of occupations with similar skill sets. However, in the education planning guide on pages 7 and 8, there's a chart for each one of those career academies, and underneath of it is called program electives. 1 credit's worth of the 1.5 credits of electives in 9th grade need to be in their program electives. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be checking to make sure that's the case whenever they when I'm looking at their schedule after they put things into Skyward. If they don't have things in their program, their career academy, in their program electives, then I'm going to come back to them and ask them to find something that would fit in there. We want them to be able to follow a career academy each year. Now, that's not something that sticks all 4 years. They can change it every single year. They can change the career goal every single year. But that's certainly something that we want them to do. So I wanted them to, when they fill out this form, they fill out their name and their career goal. And the career goal is really the job they want when they grow up. And many of them don't know yet. So they're also able to put an area of interest or a spark that we talk about in the Spark survey from 6th grade. And we use that language as a spark. So a spark is really something that you're willing to go learn about, that nobody has to tell you to go learn about it. So, I like woodworking, and I'm really into that because I just like making things. And so, I learned hand-cut dovetails on my own, and nobody has to tell me that because I'm interested in that. And we're looking for things like that for kids so that we can focus them in one direction. We can educate them in an area, maybe try to educate them in an area of interest and see if they want to do that as a career. As we work our way through that, then they have to choose the career academy, and they move through their career academy and the electives that go along with that. And then they have to choose, you see this number 11, that's one of the graduation requirements. They have to choose one of those three. It's not an elective really, but they get choice for the graduation requirement. And then number 12 is what's called a free elective. That's the other half credit of the 1.5 credits. So that's any of the half credit courses that are available to any ninth grader. And those are all listed for each one of them there. The other thing that they needed to fill out for me is a fine arts class. So they have to have a fine arts graduation requirement. If they are in band, chorus, orchestra, jazz band, concert choir, show choir, etc. If they're in any of those performing music classes, they do not have to take Art Foundation or Music Appreciation. If they are not taking any of those, then they will have to take Art Foundation or Music Appreciation. And then everybody adds PE. The last piece on there is some information that I have them put down. It's just things that they might be interested in taking later on in high school. It's not things that we're going to make them take or register for, but it's just interests, again, things that are there. So let's talk about language classes for a little bit. Language class is like a 5th core class, and I've talked with all the students about this. It is a 5th core class, which means you have science, social studies, English, and math as your 4 cores. You will have those every day all year long. If you take a language, you will also have that every day all year long. And I've talked with them about language classes themselves. This is not going in and learning just how to count and how to conjugate a few verbs. It is learning how to deconstruct and construct language using all the parts and pieces of language. So what I've said to them is, if you hate English and you're not good at it, don't take a foreign language next year. Wait and consider taking it later. Every year, I have people ask me if taking a foreign language is a requirement for graduation at our high school. It is not. They also ask if taking a foreign language is a requirement for college. And the answer to that is yes and no. Yes, most most 4-year colleges want you to have 2 years of a language. Unless you're an architect or a computer scientist or a mathematician, then they want math and science. But for the most part, 2 years is mostly the required amount. Now, if you're going to be a language major, obviously you're going to want 4. If you're going to go to an Ivy League school, if you're going to William & Mary or Lehigh or Penn or Harvard or Yale, many of those places want beyond 2 years, and they might actually use the phrase language proficiency, which means you can read it, write it, and speak it. And I've told all of your students, and I'll tell you the same thing, if you're looking at any of those types of colleges, if you're looking at any of those types of education afterwards, like William & Mary and so forth, you want to go to their website now and look at the undergraduate admission requirements. So you make sure you do that. Now, many people will go to Harrisburg Area Community College or Reading Area Community College for a 2-year degree. You don't necessarily need language to get to that part. You might want to take it because you might need it when you get there, but you don't necessarily need it. The other part of that is, what I've told the kids is, many people nowadays are starting their first 2 years of a 4-year degree at a community college because it's so much more economical in terms of the price, and you can do your gen eds for 1/3 to 1/5 of the price and transfer into a 4-year school. If your student is going to do that, I would still have them consider taking 2 years of a language, because if they're transferring into a 4-year school, they're probably going to need it anyway. So just some notes on foreign languages. This slide is all of the available courses, all the electives that are available to 9th grade students. So there's quite a few there. If you look on this right-hand side, there's this thing called Honors Seminar. Honors Seminar is available for students who are identified as gifted and have a GIEP. Okay? And you can see many of those courses in there for many reasons. Okay, so let's take a look at how to go into Skyward and register for classes with your student if you choose to do so. You will have your student log on to Skyward, and they will go here. they'll go in there, and if you have more than one student, if you're in there and you have more than one student, you're going to make sure it's their name, and you're going to make sure that the school says Cedar Crest High School. And then you're going to go down here to where it says schedule on the left, and you're going to click there. And when it says schedule, they're going to open up, and underneath here, there's going to be this big block design of their current schedule. And then over here, it's going to say request courses for 2021-2022 in Cedar Crest High School. Anything that's blue is a live link, and you can click on that. So you're going to click there. Then you're going to get this double window show up. On the left-hand side, in numerical order by course number, is all of the available courses for the 9th graders to choose. On the right-hand side are those that are already chosen for them and that they're already registered for. They should all have gym. They should all have 2 semesters of lunch. And then they should be seeing a math, science, social studies, and English. There are some students who don't have 1 or 2 of those classes, and I'll have to put them in, and that we can do that later. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the PDF of the form that they filled out. Open that up and look at these courses on the left. So let's say I look at my number 6 on that PDF, which is the first place where they're choosing courses. And they checked off broadcast video. Then you're going to go find 1596 broadcast video production 1. And you're going to click on it here in the gray or white beside the title. If you click on the title because it's blue, it'll get a pop-up. You have to close it. But when you click beside it, it'll highlight it. And then this button, Add Course, will come live. And you'll click it, and it'll populate over here, and you've registered for that course. So you're going to go through, and you're going to go through that PDF, and you're going to look at number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, and all of those should be the things that you're adding. If you add something by mistake and you think, oh, I didn't want to do that, then you'll click on it on the right-hand side to highlight it, and you'll click Remove Course after that button becomes live. When you're finished, the total credits up here will equal 7.0. So you may have way more than 7 classes, and that's okay because a lot of them are half credit. But when you're finished with this particular part, then you'll see 7 credits up here on the right-hand side. The next thing we have to do is, and that tells you how to remove the course, the next thing we have to do is request alternates. So every year we want students to choose the courses that they want to register for and go in and put those in, but we also want them to request alternates. Alternates are things that they're willing to take in case their electives are not available. This past year we were offering French, and that was cut from the budget. So we had to move everybody from French to a different language or to a different alternate class. When the kids had alternates in there, it was really easy. We did that. So especially those kids who are choosing French again this year, because it wasn't offered this year, we're trying to see how many people are interested. And so in doing so, if they check French, I want to make sure that they have an alternate language in there to make sure that if we don't offer that again next year, that it's easy to change. So the alternates, we're going to put in 2 alternates. And they both should be, one of them should be a credit and one should be a half credit. So that way we can check them there. Now these are 2 tabs. You'll know you're on that tab when it's when this type is in black. If it's in blue, then you're not on that tab. So we want the request alternates to be black, and you're going to get the same kind of thing, available alternate courses and selected alternate courses. Now when you look at on the right hand side, you'll see a lot of classes with an R. That means you're registered for those classes. The ones with the numbers are your alternate classes. So you're going to go through the same process. You're going to click over here, you're going to click Add Course, and you're going to add one. And I want them to add at least 2, one being 1 credit, one being half credit, or 3 half credits. When you get those over here, when you have more than 1, then there's going to be these little arrows, a down arrow and an up arrow on 1 and 2. These are in order of options. So when the high school runs a schedule, and if they say, oh, we can't offer that particular course, there's too many sections and we don't have enough teachers, and they say, oh, we have to cut that, we have to look at alternates, that's the first alternate they're going to take, is number one. The second one that they'll take is number two. If you don't want them in that order, all you have to do is click on one of those arrows, up or down, and it will flip them if there's only two there. If there's three there, it'll move it up one or down one. So you have to make sure that they're in order of priority of your request, how you want them to happen. Okay, so when you're completely done, you will have total credits as 7, and your total alternates will be 2 or 3 if you're doing 3 half credits, but at least 2. And now you're finished. So when you're finished with all that, you may log out and you're done. If you do this with your student between now and the time that I see them in social studies classes next week, please make sure that you don't go in and change it after I've seen them. If you want to change after I've seen them in social studies, fill out a schedule change form or call me or email me or chat me on Teams. It's really important because I start looking at the schedules as they're put in. In order to go through all 420, it takes me some time, so I start looking at them right away after we're done. So if I see your student on Monday and you want to change something on Tuesday, make sure you don't go into Skyward and change it, but let me know instead. That way I can help them change it, and I know about it, and I haven't looked, I make sure that it fits into the expectations and all the things that are needed there. All right, that's the end of my part of the slideshow. I really appreciate your attention and being here. If you need to get in touch with me, you can call me at the office at 717-272-2032. My extension is 4128. You can email me at Don Swartz, SWARTZ, at clsd.k12.pa.us, or you can chat me on Teams. You can just sign in to Microsoft Teams with your student, and you can send me a chat through your student's chat, or they can as well. Thank you so much for being a part of your students' education and for being interested in helping them along and helping them choose their career path.
Hello, 9th grade families. Welcome to the English department at Cedar Crest High School. I'm Mr. Gates, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about what you can expect 9th grade English-wise. We'll begin first with the fun part, electives. There are a few if you're able to fit them in your schedule. We have half-year courses in Intro to Mass Media and Broadcast Video 1. There are courses that will allow you to later on in your high school career join the newspaper, yearbook, and broadcast video staffs. So you may want to look at those if you have some room. English-wise, we have 3 levels at the high schools. We have honors, college prep, and general. We have Mrs. Eisenberg with us now to tell you a little bit about what you will experience in those classes.
Hi everyone, I'm one of the 9th grade college prep and honors level teachers here at the high school, and I'd like to share with you some of the things that you can expect in 9th grade English. First of all, everyone will get one of these wonderful textbooks. All of our materials for the course is found in these books. We will be experiencing poetry, short stories, Romeo and Juliet, and of course our mythology epic unit on the Odyssey. One of the main differences in 9th grade English is that honors level does a summer reading project, whereas college prep and applied or general levels do not. I look forward to seeing many of you in the halls next year.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sorrilla. I'm the curriculum leader for the Social Studies department. In our department, we have a variety of courses that will help engage students in learning not only about our history here in our country, but also about the world and their role in it. For incoming 9th graders, you're looking at several options. 9th grade curriculum is United States history, so you're looking at American cultures too, and you have different levels there, and you also have the possibility of AP US history. This is a college level course that requires students that are highly motivated, strong students, that if they do well on the AP exam at the end of the year, they could earn college credit. We look forward to having your child, your son or daughter here at the school to help them learn more about the school, learn more about the world, and their role in it.
Hi there, I'm Shane Thomas, the curriculum leader for the high school mathematics department.
With the focus in today's world on STEM careers, it's more important than ever to have a solid background in mathematics, which we will try to provide for you here at Cedar Crest High School. For most students coming here in 9th grade, you're going to be taking one of our Algebra 1 courses, either our regular Algebra 1A and 1B, or our College Prep Algebra 1A and 1B, or even our Honors Algebra 1, depending on the level of challenge that you want in your Algebra 1 course. Now, some of you may have taken Honors Algebra 1 down in the middle school. For those of you who did that, your best path is most likely going to be to take our Honors Geometry course, or maybe even College Prep Algebra 2. For an even smaller group who took Honors Algebra 2 down at the middle school, you're most likely going to head to our Honors Geometry class here at the high school. Now, for people who are trying to get ahead or get more exposure to math courses before their graduation, there's also an option to double up. It's possible for a student to take both Algebra 1 and Geometry courses concurrently, or Algebra 2 and Geometry courses concurrently. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a lot of math work, but if that's something you're very interested in, it is an option for us as you move through things. All right, if you have any individual concerns about your particular situation that you'd like more detail or I can answer a question for you, please don't hesitate to contact me at sthomas@clsd.k12.pa.us. All right, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hello, I am Mrs. Hopwood and I am the Science Department leader. I'd like to talk with you about the science classes that you are taking next year. As a freshman, you will be taking biology. There are 2 levels of biology to choose from: Biology Honors and Biology CP. Biology Honors has a prerequisite of successful completion of 8th grade honors science with at least a B-, or successful completion of 8th grade academic science with an A-. Honors classes are more rigorous and move at a faster pace than CP classes. The Science Department offers many electives and AP classes. We actually have 7 AP or college in the high school classes. As a freshman, you are limited to biology, but if you plan on pursuing a career in the sciences, start planning big to double up on sciences in your sophomore year. We need smart students like you to solve the world's problems using science. Dream big, and I'll see you in the halls of Cedar Crest High School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Zaki. I'm in charge of the foreign languages here at the high school. I'm really pleased to say that we offer 4 different levels of 4 different languages. We have the languages who we share a continent with. We have French and we have Spanish. The French program, if enough people are interested, we still have a French teacher here. I know there was some doubt last year. Spanish, lots of kids like to take Spanish. And of course, many people already speak it, and we have several teachers who will offer that. We also have 2 more interesting languages yet. We have German here at the high school, which we have a lot of people with a German background. It might be nice. Mrs. Marini has a very nice, lively class of people. And then there's Latin, which of course I find the most interesting because I'm the Latin teacher. We do 4 years of that. We're one of the few public high schools in the state, actually, who offers Latin. And it's very useful for their English, for their vocabulary, and for culture, history, art. We learn a lot in all of them. I encourage students to start in 9th grade so that they can go through all 4 levels. Otherwise, if they don't fit it in, they can start later. I hope all your students will take foreign language. Bye.
Hi, my name is Phil Hausner. I'm going to talk to you about Ag Science 1. It's a course that we offer to our freshmen. There's 4 main things that we discuss in Ag 1. Plant science. We have 2 greenhouses where we are planting in there from the second day of school through the end of school with poinsettias, bulbs, spring bedding plants, and hanging baskets. We handle these little guys. Each Ag 1 student gets their own rabbit. We learn how to breed the rabbit, take care of them. It's a pretty neat part of the course, get to take some rabbits home. Thirdly, we go over food science, where your food comes from. a lot of the science behind it. We get to make root beer, sauerkraut, our own bacon, ham, etc. And then lastly, we spend some time in the shop. Ag 1 students do a little wood shop project, and then as you progress through Ag 2, 3, and 4, we get into a little metalworking, plumbing, engines, etc. So hopefully I see you next year in the Agriscience and Technology 1 course.
Good afternoon, my name is Mr. Custer. I teach Intro to Tech and Problem Solving here at the high school. We want to teach the kids in a hands-on classroom principles of flight, principles of structures, and also principles of aerodynamics is the kind of the main areas that we go down here. We would do a glider unit which talks and teaches kids principles of flight and why we pay money to get in these big heavy machines and get them up in the air, and why that is something that should happen safely time and time and time again. We also learn about structures and why, we're going into the major cities and you're sitting there and the bridge is shaking and the bridge is not going to fail. And we actually test and build a series of truss bridges which they design, and then we look at the efficiency of them, and we have a mathematical way to do that. And then finally we do CO2 cars, which is kind of cool because they start virtually, and so we have a program that they have to meet a bunch of specs to create the CO2 cars. They then go through and we print their best design, we cut the cars, they finish the cars, we end up checking them in the wind tunnel, kind of find different drag and lift, principles of aerodynamics, and then they go through and they're able to then get a finished product that we then race down the hallway.
So as a 9th grader, when you come over here to Cedar Crest, you're going to be able to be eligible to take 2 courses. Okay, the Architectural Design Level 1 course, okay, where we get into designing individual rooms and eventually work our way into designing whole house plans. Okay, if that's not your thing, or you think that you might have an interest in engineering, okay, we have some other programs here. We have Engineering Design 1, where we introduce basic sketching and drawing concepts to students and teach them the basics of how to view parts and how to view their world just a little bit differently. And then eventually you get a chance to be able to move that over to a program called SolidWorks, and you'll be designing using 3D software. So those are the 2 courses that you'll have available as 9th graders to come over here at Cedar Crest to take in the Tech Ed hallway.
Hi, I'm Amy Sullivan. I'm the Business Department Chairperson, and I'm going to talk to you today about 6 different courses that freshmen can take next school year. So the first course is called Business and Career Development. It actually fulfills one of the graduation requirements. So students can take this course or others that are offered in the technology department. But in Business and Career Development, we're obviously going to spend time helping students with their career path, learn interview skills, job readiness, that sort of thing. And then during the second half of the class, we focus on entrepreneurship and the business development part. One interesting thing that we do in the class is a simulation called Virtual Business Retailing, where students get to operate their own company. Other classes that we offer in the business department, we have something called Foundations of Business 1 and 2. In Foundations of Business 1, we focus primarily on business concepts, human resources, and finance. And we also do another simulation in that class called Virtual Business Restaurant. In Foundations of Business 2, students are going to be focused on leadership, marketing, and entrepreneurship. They get to create their own product. So students are going to work together as a team with a business consultant from the community to develop an actual real product that they sell. On the computer side of things, we offer 3 classes for incoming freshmen. The first one's called Computer Literacy Basics. If your son or daughter doesn't know how to type well, if they haven't developed that skill, I highly recommend this class. The first thing that we focus on is keyboarding, and then we also look at the Microsoft applications of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and give them enough to succeed here in high school with those programs. The other 2 programs that we offer are called Microsoft Office Applications. We have a core level and an expert level. In the core level, we do the same programs, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, but we also add in Access. This course is probably more geared towards students that are going to be heading off to college. At some point, we're going to get into much more depth than we do in the Computer Basics course. But we would ask that the person taking this class already knows how to do keyboarding. Once you pass the core level class, you can take the expert. Again, that's another semester-long class. We get into much more advanced features of all 4 programs, And at the end of the course, students have the opportunity to test through the Microsoft Office Specialist Certification Program. So that's a nationally recognized credential that would help them on job applications, college applications, and certainly being able to prove to an employer that they know how to use the programs. If you have any questions, please contact me at the high school at asullivan@clsd.k12.pa.us.
Hello, my name is Mr. Munns and I'm the band director here at Cedar Crest High School. We're super excited to have you join us here next year as 9th graders. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what you'll do when you arrive. You'll sign up for the 9th grade concert band course. That's the course that you'll take as a 9th grader, and you'll join the rest of our high school members in the band program through that course. Included in your membership to 9th grade concert band is your participation in the marching band, where we'll develop a field show in the fall, and we'll take that out and perform a number of times and actually compete with it. Additionally, jazz band is an option for you that you may be familiar with at the middle school. I would encourage you to not yet sign up for that course, as that's a semester 2 class, and we'll take care of that a little bit later. No need to do that in your spring registration. We're super excited to have you along. Good luck with the rest of your 8th grade year. We'll see you soon.
Hi kids, Dr. Campbell here. I'd like to welcome you to the high school orchestra room. As an incoming 9th grader, you'll have the chance to participate in the string orchestra, which meets every other day on a 3rd period. We have string orchestra in the fall, and in the springtime we have string orchestra in addition to full orchestra, which would include winds and percussion players for our spring concert. From the string orchestra, you can also participate in the pit orchestra. I direct that every year along with the musical, which is a great live experience. We have 4 concerts that are scheduled every year. In October, we share a concert with Mr. Munns and the band. In November, we have a traditional string festival that is with Warwick, Palmyra, and Lebanon high school orchestras, usually the Friday before Thanksgiving. The orchestra also shares a concert with the chorus in December for our holiday concert, where we have a traditional strolling strings, which means we memorize some music and walk around the auditorium as we play, plus some other traditional holiday tunes, along with a bunch of Trans-Siberian Orchestra things traditionally, or even Mannheim Steamroller. In February, you might remember a couple of years ago, Mrs. Eck and I share a concert together, a Pops concert, and that's usually during the 1st or 2nd week of February, and it's a way for us to get some lighter repertoire in. Chamber orchestra is also an option for those of you that are a little bit more of an advanced musician, and we usually have a couple of programs that we do every year, in addition with going with the jazz band, and we tour around to the elementary schools in March and have some other performing opportunities there. Also, from this string orchestra, you can participate in Lancaster Lebanon Music Educators, County Band, County Orchestra, and also PMEA events. Please look at the school calendar once you get it in over the summer, and I look forward to seeing all of you here in school next year.
Hello parents of incoming freshman Falcons. My name is Leslie Rouchett and I'm the choral director here at Cedar Crest High School. There are many ways that your student can become involved or stay involved in our choral program here at the high school. Our Blue Chorus is an SATB soprano, alto, tenor, bass choir that is open to students in grades 9 through 12. It's a non-auditioned choir and it performs at our CCHS Christmas concert or holiday concert and our spring concert. No prior choral experience is needed. Our Gray Chorus is a treble choir for soprano and alto voices in grades 9 through 12. This is also a non-auditioned choir that performs at our Cedar Crest holiday program and our spring concerts. No prior choral experience is needed for that group either. However, if any student is enrolled in Blue or Gray Chorus, we have our Cedar Crest concert choir for students that are very confident singers that want to perform in a smaller ensemble. In addition to performing at our holiday program and our spring program, our concert choir performs at our annual Veterans Day breakfast and our holiday breakfast, as well as some community events. And finally, for those students that want to sing more contemporary literature, we offer our Rhythm and Blue show choir. To audition for Rhythm in Blue, a student must be enrolled in either blue or gray chorus and must complete a singing and dance audition in the spring of 2021. Our choral groups at CCHS will provide your son or daughter with an instant, immediate, supportive group of friends within our larger school community. We're always thrilled to welcome new members into our choir, and I hope your son or daughter will consider joining us. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Go Falcons!
Hi, I'm Mrs. Criolla. I'm one of the FCS teachers over here at Cedar Crest High School, and I'm here to tell you about a couple of the courses that you can take. The first class I'm going to tell you about is Housing and Interior Design. In this class, you'll learn about real estate, needs and housing, different layouts of houses, as well as learning how to design. And this year we have been redesigning classrooms, and we have a plan to redesign the conference room. You can also take FCS. In this class, you will learn about career exploration, you'll learn about food preparation, finance, pretty much anything you would need to know to be a self-sufficient adult. And then you could take a foods class. In this case, you'll learn about nutrition, you'll learn about prepping food, how to cook and cut and do all of those things that you might be interested in doing to take care of yourself.
Hey, congratulations class of 2025. My name is Mr. Shelburne and I'm a proud member of the Physical Education Department here at the high school and the Cornwall Lebanon School District family. As you continue your journey as a lifelong learner, in the next 4 years you're going to have many opportunities to pick out of numerous electives that meet your individual needs in the Health and Physical Education Department. But what's exciting now is freshmen, you're going to start with the general building block of general physical education. So all freshmen are going to start with general physical education. And in that class, we're going to work as a group and work on team aspects, individual sports, lifetime fitness, and aquatics. It's going to be an exciting time.
I appreciate your time and willingness to view tonight's program. The information you heard from Mrs. Knight and Mr. Swartz is extremely important. Please know that we're here to answer your questions, and as a resource, the link to tonight's program will remain active so that you can refer back to specific sections over the next couple of weeks as you register for high school courses. As you'll learn over the next few years, it's a total team effort here at the high school, and the more we're able to work together, the more positive the experience will be for our students. Thank you for your time. Stay safe, and we're excited to see you on our high school campus in the near future. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.